When I fail, I just go face first, right on the ground. So that was my first failure. I've definitely allowed God to turn the pain into purpose and see beauty for ashes come from it. Life Solutions is broad enough to handle any and everything. I'm like, why is he coming to me, or this person, the adults coming to me? I should be going to them because that's what TV says. And it's like, wait a minute, shut up. If God placed you there with that gift and that talent, it's for him to use through you, not for you to be selfish about it.
What does failure is knowledge mean to you?
Once I max out that failure at the end, I've got a better chance of getting stronger next time. So as long as when you're running, you fall forward like the long jump and you don't fall backwards and you're measured there, you can get right back up and keep going again and learn from that and teach someone else. So failure is knowledge isn't just for you. You must share your failures with others.
Josh, what's going on, man? Thank you for coming on to the Failure is Knowledge podcast. I just got one question for you. Have you ever failed before?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was the failure that you failed at?
So the first failure that I think I can take it way back to is the failure of being able to walk properly. I mean, if we take it old school, one of the things that my mother told me is I used to be in such a rush to do things that I didn't crawl and I started walking. But in that process, I missed understanding how to protect myself. So when I failed, I just go face first, right on the ground. So that was my first failure. The other things that we can talk about later on in life is what other people might consider failure. And part of your podcast is Failure is Knowledge.
Josh, what's going on, man? Thank you for coming on to the Failure is Knowledge podcast. I just got one question for you. Have you ever failed before?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was the failure that you failed at?
So the first failure that I think I can take it way back to is the failure of being able to walk properly. I mean, if we take it old school, one of the things that my mother told me is I used to be in such a rush to do things that I didn't crawl and I started walking. But in that process, I missed understanding how to protect myself. So when I failed, I just go face first, right on the ground. So that was my first failure. The other things that we can talk about later on in life is what other people might consider failure. And part of your podcast is Failure is Knowledge. So failure, one of the things that I like about that is fall forward or fail forward. You can say that I failed with health. You can say I failed with business, with marriage, with whatever. But I've definitely allowed God to turn the pain into purpose and see beauty for ashes come from it.
And I appreciate you being vulnerable, because one thing that I've learned about failure is that it's not planned for. Prime example, just to confirm, are you able to hear me? Because I put the microphone down so he can pick up both of us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. We can't plan the failure. Just like give you a prime example this morning, me and you tried to do the podcast, and for some reason the audio was not working, and we didn't let that failure stop us. We just learned how to pivot from that. So
Right.
now I want to ask you, why Magnificent Life Solutions?
Sure. So I see myself as a vessel and a vehicle, just like I look at other tools in my industry, but they're just a vehicle to transport whatever it is that you need to give to that person on the other side. What's better than the best is magnificent. So many, many years ago, even through the entertainment industry, through all these other things, magnificent was my standard. It was Magnificent Productions, but that's very narrow compared to what I do now. So I let that go. Repurpose Magnificent Life Solutions. Now, one person thought that was life insurance. I'm like, no, that's life insurance is a death solution. Like, Life Solutions is broad enough to handle any and everything. And I've been blessed with a gift to have people come to me with whatever problem they have, and I'm able to give them direction and clarity on where to go, what to do, and actually be successful in it. So Magnificent Life Solutions, like if you're having problems with a family member, or you need some counseling, even though that's not me, I can direct you to the solution to receive whatever it is you need.
And I can say, like, as I was doing research on you, and based off the conversation that we had when we first met, it was more so of you have a standard of the way you conduct yourself. You have a standard of the way you conduct business. And you mentioned earlier that when you fail, you just fail forward.
Right.
And many times that failure might not look like a failure, but it's a lesson to help you understand that everything has a standard. Everything that you do, there's a way to do it. There's a system to do it. There's a process to do it. There's a structure to do it. When you start to understand more about the structure that you are developing, what was your biggest challenge?
I think the challenge letting go of the identity that you want to make for yourself and embrace the one that God's always directed you to. You see, many times, if I take it even back to football as a teen, I was pretty darn good physically, right? What was 5'11", bench press 300 in high school, squat 580. But when I looked in the mirror, 4% body fat, so just I wasn't on the line. When I looked in the mirror, I said, I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough. And I had to overcome that and this identity that I wanted to make on myself. I didn't used to dress like this, those black shirt, khaki pants, super tactical. But when I let go of what I thought I needed to be and really just went with the flow of who I was created to be, that's when everything started to really come together. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You said that you play football, wide receiver or cornerback.
No, no, no.
No,
I was a running back, very good at DB, but they had something called booster ball, which meant that you didn't get to play the positions you wanted to play if somebody else needed to play. So senior year, they ended up doing what's just called a scout package. Like the other team had a very good nose tackle. I think he was all state or something like that. And they go, Tynes, you get in here. Biggest, strongest, quickest guy. So I'm playing nose tackle on scout offense, or excuse me, scout defense to get in there. And after that week, they go, you did that so well. We kind of want you to do it for us. So I was a running back as well as a nose tackle, and I get in and just destroyed the guys who were kids. You know, I was a grown man essentially physically.
that's crazy because the reason why I said wide receiver or cornerback because you said 5'11".
Hmm.
And I would never thought that. Well, it makes sense. Five squatting 500 pounds and bench press 300. I should have said running back, linebacker, offensive line, defensive line, one of the four. But it's the because I played linebacker. I played linebacker, but I was 180 and my bench was like 225 pounds. It wasn't that much, but it was doable. And the same work ethic that you have while playing football, you had the same work ethic while being a professional, while being a financial advisor. When you start to understand, like, wait, hold on, you're actually helping people understand more about their future. How did you recognize like this is the business that you would like to do?
I didn't, to be perfectly honest. What happened was my daughter came down with a leukemia diagnosis after I ruptured my Achilles tendon. So June of 2019, ruptured my Achilles tendon, high grade partial tear with severe tendinosis. It was a misdiagnosis, medical malpractice. I said, hey guys, I'm pretty sure it's Achilles tendon. The PA was like, what makes you think you know? Anyway, long story short, I got it resolved a while after. Started to recover. COVID hits. Then my daughter gets leukemia. So my mind is completely focused on something else. Went down to 0, 0, 0 in the bank, completely relying upon new direction of what I'm supposed to do because my previous industry shut down. And I'm getting to the answer to your question. So how did I know? I'm getting in this and my mind is like, I need a position to where I can work from home so I can take care of my daughter because she relapsed September 6th of 2022. And during this time, I applied for a call center or a customer service job, work from home. It's like just something simple that I could focus on my daughter and still be, able to make income. But in that time, I also had a vision of where I believe God wants me to be. And I say, all right, I see this business, I see these businesses and what I'm doing. But to get there, I really need to understand finances. I need you to send me someone that's going to help me understand finances. Now, I didn't just sit back and wait. I went looking up stuff and researching and understanding on my own. But the call back I got from that customer service job said, Mr. Tynes, we're going to pay for you to study for your health insurance license. Then we're going to give you a contract and then pay you to work for such and such company after. So that's for me, that's unheard of. Like I got paid to study for a couple months. Then I got more income or the contract and more experience on the Medicare side. And after that, they had to take bone marrow from me, the old school surgical route. Now we fast forward to 2023. I'm in the hospital with my daughter. I just happen to check my spam mail once a month. And I see this other company says, Mr. Tynes, we think you have the aptitude to become a financial advisor. Just get your life insurance license. Okay, let's see what that's about. And during this time, I'm learning to go with the flow and not overthink things, not try to make it all my way. Because being analytical and able to bring solutions to other people, I can limit myself, or at least have in the past, to say, okay, well, what about this? What about that? So I'm going with the flow. I hate it there. I wanted to quit. I was like, I don't like these people. It's like a frat house in here. And this is over the course of 4 months. But each time I say God had some divine intervention where some charity, someone said, "Hey, Mr. Tynes, we want to pay for your rent for 1 month." Because I lived in Lakeland and I'm going to St. Pete back and forth, and I'm trying to stay in St. Pete with my daughter. So 4 months that happened, and you know what? I'm just going to listen now. I'm going to wait and yield. Then everybody got fired from the top up, and it got better. Got a new guy in the place of mentor, but it wasn't something that I ever thought. And now that I'm settled in it, I go, I understand this. This isn't difficult. Not only am I really good at it, but I care about people more than I care about dollars. Because when you've lost everything financially speaking, and you still hold on to who you are, and I have to say who I am in Christ, like there's nothing you can do to scare me, to intimidate me. If we got to go in a fire, I'll be in it and I come out, I won't smell like smoke. Like that's my mindset. So now understanding, yes, this is what I want to do. I hold it like this if I can show. It's really important not to hold anything like that because you're not stewarding it well. It could fall. You hold it like this, you can never have it taken away and have it replaced with something better. But you hold it like this to where you steward it. And if it needs to be taken from you, so be it. So, advisor, financial advisor is a title. I say solutionist and servant is a calling regardless of whatever I do and wherever I go. That's going to be my positioning. I'm here to serve. I'm here to find what other people miss and make sure I can help someone else achieve where they want to go, what they want to do.
And it's interesting that you shared that because when you shared the story, when we met the first a couple of weeks ago and we was talking, you shared the story about your daughter and shared the story about yourself and how you was recovering from your Achilles. I never tore my Achilles. However, I tore my ACL and my meniscus. So that road to recovery was something that was challenging because you have to recover your strength, your confidence, and your ability to walk. So when one thing I always say is that God is always with us and He's always testing us to see how we come out on the other side. It might not make sense today, but eventually it will make sense. And the bond, not the bond, but the journey that you and your daughter experience together shows that you can go through any and everything and still be okay. How did you recognize that as you are going through the journey, you are getting prepared for something that you was unprepared for?
To be honest, I don't think I did. I think there has to be the mindset of submitting to the journey, right? So I'll take it even back to high school. When I came in as a freshman, I said, "Hey, I want to be the strongest guy in here, pound for pound. I want to be the strongest." Now I set out that idea, that vision, and then I made a plan. I was like, what should I do? Get around the strongest guys and work out with them. That's kind of common sense. And that included some teachers as well. So uh, I that was my initial setup. I forgot about it and just kept executing the plan, like literally. So by the time senior year comes around, I'm stronger than the wrestling coach. Like all the grown men, there's nobody in the high school stronger than me pound for pound. Some of the big boys might be able to bench three. Some of the big boys can, squat like five something, but their body weight and the ratio was off. I'm trying to be nice about it. They weren't fit. So as we go along this journey, it's like, all right, even though I can't see the other side of it or make it make sense, I know that we all overcome, whether you believe what I believe or not, because this is just human law. We overcome by the testimony of others. Like when we hear what other people have gone through, all right, I can do it. All right, I can make it. You know what? That's encouraging. It's not as bad as what I thought it was, or even if it is, you made it out on the other side. So submitting to the journey and remembering the other wins. Like, you know what? It didn't make sense when this and this happened, but then I saw how it helped someone else. I truly believe we're really here not only to give God the glory, but also to strengthen other people and give them hope. Like we go through sucky stuff so that the people who come behind us that are going to go through sucky stuff can see the way out.
And to show them that it's a way out because you're the example of it.
Mhm.
And I like how you said you're because I wrote it down. It's interesting you just said that solutionist, and I forgot the other one you said, but you said that you were a solutionist, like meaning that you solve problems,
Right.
meaning that in business you're solving a problem, you understand how to communicate, you understand the language, you understand the struggle that people are going through. But in order for you to be a solutionist, you have to solve your own problem first. So the question that I want to ask you, how did you not even necessarily how, when it comes to you solving your own problem, what are the steps that you follow to become the solutionist?
If I could just give honest answers, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to dress it up. I like Tim Tebow's quote: "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard." All right, so I believe that I was born with the ability to have a solution, but I still had to work on that craft. Um, when it came to being a kid, like I would always get the shoes from my parents and siblings that had the knots in it. Say, here, Josh, get these out. I could see the way, because I'm not just pulling at the knot. I see the way that it's going and go, oh, if I pull over here, that's going to loosen that. And now I can get through it. So back to your question on like the how and understanding the solution part of it, I think it was always there. And I just continued to grow in it as I got older and accepted what I saw other people doing. They would come to me asking questions. Even my father. And at one point, I was, I would say, prideful. And like, why is he coming to me, or this person, the adults coming to me? I should be going to them because that's what TV says. And it's like, wait a minute, shut up. If God placed you there with that gift and that talent, it's for him to use through you, not for you to be selfish about it and say, I should have. So I think when I became aware of it, I started to declare it, right? Declaring, okay, here's who I am, what I do. I love finding what other people miss. And this has been a part of all of the careers or jobs I've had. When I come to breakout coordinator in the production space, they'll sit me down, pre-production meeting. All right, Josh, what did we miss? Like that was literally how we opened up. What did we miss? And I go, okay, well, based upon what you told me, what about this? And I'll find it. It just sticks out to me naturally. Pairing that with understanding how to listen, right? To be a solutionist or a solution focused person, you got to listen. And it can't be about you. It's got to truly be about that other person's benefit and understanding the position that they're in. Can they walk? Can they run? Are they crawling? Because I don't want to drag anybody, say, oh, here's your problem. I got to lead you to it in a way that is palatable for you to digest.
And the way you explain what you're doing, it shows that you are a good communicator because you're able to break down the problems that people are going through or the solution that you have to other people's problems. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go off script, Josh, and I'm going to come to you and let's just say, let's just role play. And I want to get into the financial industry and I have no experience. But I come to Josh that has years and years and years of experience and say, hey, Josh, man, like I'm thinking about getting to the financial space, but I have no idea where to start. What are three tips that you can give me to get started today?
So I do have to make the disclosure for the sake of compliance. There are certain things that I can talk about and can't talk about. And if I weave around, you'll get the nudge. But I say if anybody wants to get into any space, you got to do your research on who your partner is, right? Figure out what they're about and if you align with that vision. Also, and that was number one. Number two is have your goals set out for, I'd say, 5 years. I'm always assessing and reassessing partnerships. See yourself as a business, and that's with any opportunity that you have. We put too much feelings and emotion in business on our side, while the other company, like it doesn't have any blood, sweat, tears. Like it's a thing that has to operate properly. So people make decisions for that. So one, do your research, and two, look at yourself as a business. And then finally, I would incorporate failure being embraced, because sometimes people let their title be their identity and they peak too soon searching for titles. So then when you're 30, 40, you've already made some executive position and now like, where else do I go? So that's
Gotcha.
what I,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's what I would say getting into any industry, because that's really the building blocks. As I'm in, the space that I'm in, people overcomplicate this so much. It's so easy. But we have systems in place, not only compliance, but systems in place that make people see like this. I'm like, guys, this is all business and human relations. Any and every industry, you're dealing with people and money. People, and it's very simple, but we just overcomplicate it.
Okay, so now that you start talking about the business, let's go more in depth with that. Why do people make your business difficult and complicated?
So, my business, I call that the solution focused consulting. I won't even say it's my business because I have to be particular. Like if I do any type of speaking, they want to know ahead of time when it comes to the financial side and look at it. And if there is a script, so I'm going to repurpose that into my business, right? What I do. Why do people make it complicated? I think fear. I think pride. I think I say greed. One of the best things you have to learn how to do is be content. When you are content, you're not always searching for more. And the question is in business, how do you do that, right? When shareholders, when investors, the mindset is, oh, we need more every year. It's like, well, yes and no, but why do you need that more? Is it because you want to buy more? You want to impress somebody who really doesn't care about you? Because one of the things I can share about my business, from what I've seen throughout all of life, what I've seen is most people are not as well off as you think they are. Like even the person with the money and the whatever, when they come home, maybe their wife and kids don't even greet them. Maybe they go to their rooms and they don't even want to see or speak with them. So there's always this presentation of I'm doing so much better than I am, but we've got a spirit of shame that has to be broken, right? And that comes with vulnerability like you're doing now on this podcast. When people understand that everybody poops the same way, and I know that might be graphic for some, but when everybody understands that we all eat for the most part the same way, we all need the same basic things, we can start to hopefully become a little bit more transparent and not rely so much on pride and shame and I guess you could say lack of proper communication skills.
Okay. And again, you're a great communicator because the way you just broke that down, just like you mentioned that people overcomplicate it, but why do they overcomplicate it? And you just explained it because when I start learning more about podcasting, well, podcasting is completely different than learning the business side of it. Why? Because now you got to learn how to market yourself, sell yourself, follow up, finances, systems, operations. You have to operate, like you said yourself, you have to operate as a business instead of as a hobby or as a passion. You have to operate as a business, and that's what a lot of passionate entrepreneurs struggle with, is getting to the business side of it. And when you start to get to the business side of it, it becomes complicated. Well, for my opinion, it becomes complicated because now I got to learn how to sell. Now I got to learn how to follow up. Now I have to learn how to market myself. Now I have to learn how to identify and handle objections. I have to operate as a business. And with Magnificent Life Solutions, how did you see the difference that you was making when you start to understand that this is a business just as much as my passion?
So I kind of don't separate the two. Like I feel like I have a calling, and a calling allows the Magnificent Life Solutions to just be a vehicle to transmit that calling to the next whatever. I was self-employed for many years and then also had some other contracts, multiple streams of income. That's my mindset. So Magnificent Productions was the company, but due to IRS classification, I can't do everything under a production name, so that had to switch. The vehicle changed. Okay, Life Solutions. That's broad enough to do everything I want to do, which is I'll consult with you, I'll talk here, do public speaking, whatever. We can even talk about your business and some things that I see that can improve optimization. So when it comes to the name, I just I just move with what was most flexible, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And as research showed me, you have your degree, you have two degrees. One is for, hold on, education, associate's degree in recording arts and Central Michigan University. And then hold on. You got two degrees, one from, I think I
I've
read
got
from.
hop in so because sometimes LinkedIn can make it look funny.
Yeah.
I've got one degree, but I went to CMU, Central Michigan University, for 1 year. That's when I still had my football dreams, trying to hide an injury to be a walk-on. I did their broadcast and cinematic arts program. I'm like, I'm just phoning it in because you guys want me to do all of this other stuff, this fluff. I call it pay to play, but I'm ready to get into the broadcast stuff now. And you can disagree with me, whoever's watching, that's fine. But we overcomplicate things. Hey, you need to go through this many years of school and pay this much money, pay to play, and then we'll let you touch the equipment. I was like, I was already touching the equipment. That's what I was doing. So I'm like, hey, well, I'm just wasting time here. I really can't do football, and unfortunately, other reasons. The girl to guy ratio I think was 6 to 1, and then the other school I was talking to that was very welcoming for football. The girl to guy ratio was one girl to every five guys or something like that. I was like, oh, I'm going where there are more girls. But so CMU was there. I was like, I don't really have any plans of returning. I'm just doing the motions. I got a call from a place down in Florida, went down, visited. I'm like, you didn't answer all my questions, but I feel like I'm supposed to go there. So I did. And that's where that came from. But none of those experiences, I say, provided me with the education for what it is that I've done. I learned more in the first 2 weeks hands on than all the years of schooling.
That's what I was getting to, because you didn't say nothing about business. Like, you went to school for business, you understood business. Now, no, you went to school for something completely different. And then now it's like, well, everything is business. Everything, all the entertainment, TV shows, broadcasting, newspaper, advertising, billboards, everything is business. But in order for you to learn the business, you have to do the business. What did you just say? You have to pay to play. You have to literally pay to play to learn how to play the business.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Um, the older I get, the more experience I get, the more I see I don't understand it all, but I understand enough to see the building blocks, right? Once you think you've got it all, it's, oh yeah, it's like, oh no, there's more to that. But the foundation of it really comes back to the human heart. And once you understand the players at the table, you can navigate and position yourself in such a way that you become, dare I say, dangerous, a disruptor, or just rejected. And it helps because sometimes rejection is good. You don't want to be accepted by everybody, not every crowd you want to be around, because bad company corrupts good habits. I got myself around the strongest people, not the kids that went to the beach every day, not the folks that wanted to eat pizza every week. We had one guy who was another running back. He got real frustrated one day in the gym. He goes, dang it, Tynes, how do you always increase your strength 5 pounds every week? And this is the first time I'll say it publicly. I told him, I was like, well, so and so, where were you at last Friday? I was at the beach. I said, what about Saturday? I was at the beach. I said, while you were at the beach, I was at the gym. While you was doing it, I was at the gym. While you would, because I'm still working, right? And then the last part is I also never tell them how strong I am. So I've always got like a 20-pound gap. So as I keep getting stronger, here they keep seeing 5 pounds up. And I take that to business also. Some people might not like that. In sales, when you bust your butt and do as great as you can, you have these greedy, non-content, megalomaniac, spirited, and I'm gonna say that because people can change, spirited folks that go, great, you just blew your quota out of the water. You made us 8 million. Next year we want 16. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. So that I hope that kind of answers your question. I know that segued a little bit.
No, that was a perfect segue. That was a phenomenal segue. And I forgot to mention earlier how we came encounter with each other was that you listened to the podcast with Travis. And
Mhm.
Travis, man, he's a phenomenal person, phenomenal being, phenomenal man of God. And just learning more about like his mission and better together mission. And it's like incredible. Well, I did want to mention that when I played high school football, my defensive coach, we was doing drills, and I couldn't get the drill right. Like, I literally kept messing up, kept messing up, kept messing up, kept messing up. And he tapped me on my helmet. He hit me. He was like, he said, Humphrey, he said, man, you a high rep guy. I said, no, no, I ain't. Like, I get the hang of it as soon as you told me. Like, I understand what I'm doing. He said, I just told you a high rep guy means that it takes you a longer time for you to understand what you're doing, but it's the time that I'm investing for, so I can't understand how to run a play, how to do small little steps to be ahead of a play or be on time for the play instead of ahead of the play. So the small reps might not seem like it don't matter, but they literally matter because it can make a difference for your entire game. So I got one last segment, and it's called Best for Last. Is when I ask you 4 questions and you answer within 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. So question number one: what is the biggest thing that you learned while being the founder of Magnificent Life Solutions?
The biggest thing I learned is to steward with open hands. Like if God wants to take it away and put something better in your hands, you got to close tight and shut. You ain't gonna get it.
I agree. Next question: what are you most grateful for?
Man, I'm grateful for the little things, like seeing my daughter sleep and breathe without any issues, seeing her heart rate no longer at 135. I'm just grateful for the fact that I'm not who I used to be and God hasn't given up on me.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Next question. Do you have any regrets?
I think when I do have regrets, I don't have them to the point where I would go back and change things, but I regret, being human and hurting people. Like, I really didn't mean to do that, and I shouldn't have done that. That's a regret, but I've learned from it, and I'll testify about it so others don't have to.
And then last question. What does failure is knowledge mean to you?
Failure is knowledge. Man, when it comes to my ending reps, when it comes to the bench press, I'll get a spot and they say, how many do you want to do? I say, till failure. Because I know once I max out that failure at the end, I've got a better chance of getting stronger next time. So as long as when you're running, you fall forward like the long jump and you don't fall backwards and you're measured there, you can get right back up and keep going again and learn from that and teach someone else. So failure is knowledge isn't just for you. You must share your failures with others.
Man, Josh, this has been incredible. How can people find you? How can they learn more about magnificent life solutions and how can they connect with you?
Man, the best way is honestly on LinkedIn. I don't want to put my email out there and get it blown up just in case. So reach out to me on LinkedIn and then I'll go from there and make sure you can get in contact with me.
Sounds great, man. Josh, this has been great. So, what I like to do towards the end of the podcast episodes, we say one quote, and the quote has to be from you. So,
Mm,
I'm going to go first. The quote that I typically say is, don't be afraid to fail because failure is knowledge.
mm, man, the quote has to be from me. Well, I would just say what's on my tag right now. It's like you deserve better. Let me show you. That's all about the solution side of it. You know what? Let me change that. There's another one. It is, I'm trying to remember how I said it. It's about regrets. Anyway, yeah, the gist of my quote is the conversation is free. You only have to pay attention. So many people, they avoid the conversations that they should have had, even if the answer at the end is, "Hey, it's not for me." The conversation is free. You only have to pay attention because regrets are priceless.
The reason why I just did my eyes like that because I wrote a similar quote that you had said, and it's in reference of what you just said, but it said, I think I'm covered, but I'm always open to a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this I was that was the old style. Yeah, so I went to so that was good. Josh, again, thank you for coming on to the Face Knowledge Podcast. What was your experience while being while having the conversation?
My experience is one of hope. So I think it's very important to have people like yourself in the position that you're in. It's not glamorous. It's probably not extremely comfortable, but it's necessary. So as long as we have people like you, that experience will continually be hopeful and very healthy. And I'm just happy to be a part of what I call your message.
Man, Josh, I appreciate my start recording again.